The 3 exercises I need to show you today are important, okay? I am going to show you all 3, but they're going to make a lot more sense and actually work for you if you understand what's going on first. Because if you skip that part, you'll end up doing what most people do, the wrong thing, and wondering why nothing changes. Now, listen, I know you're thinking, just show me the exercises. We're getting there. But giving you the exercises without this part, it's like handing you the keys to a car before teaching you how to drive. Okay, you might get moving, but it's probably not going to go the way you want. Just stay with me here for a minute, okay? This part is what makes those 3 exercises actually work, not just for your knees, but for your hips, your back, even your posture. And I promise we'll get to them, okay? Autumn walked in limping to see me. Not a small limp either. Every step looked like it took effort. Her knees had lost so much cartilage over the years that her hips started stepping in to help, until eventually her hips broke down too, and then that's when the sciatica showed up. So what started as a knee problem had already spread through her whole body. Now, over 35 years of working with midlife bodies and going all the way back to when I learned the technical side during my 10 years working in physical therapy as a functional strength coach, I've seen this exact pattern over and over again. One joint starts struggling, another steps in, and before long the whole system is trying to hold things together. And here's where things get interesting. This isn't random. It follows a very predictable pattern, which is exactly why those 3 exercises I'm about to show you work so well. Now, most people with knee pain are treating the wrong joint, first of all, and this next part is crucial, so stay with me, all right? Because if you miss this, the exercise won't hit the way that it's supposed to. Autumn walked in with her limp, and that was telling me everything before she even said a word. The sciatica was very intense, but underneath that, something had been building quietly for years. Her hips had been doing basically double shifts, covering for knees that just weren't doing their work anymore. Now, just think about that. Give me a second here. Her body basically reassigned the workload, okay? Knees aren't showing up. Hips, you're on, all right? And then hips handled it. They carried it until they couldn't anymore. That's when everything showed up all at once. Now, this compensation pattern you have to understand, because after 50, our body's been doing that. You'll see people leaning over, trying to pull their shoulders back, leaning way forward to get up. Those things we want to stop, okay? So please bear with me. Follow me on this, okay? Okay, that's when everything showed up all at once. Her hips were breaking down, the sciatica, the unstable movement. And that's when usually when people think, well, where did this come from? And where did that come from? What happened here? You know, you see yourself in pictures and you're like, why am I not sitting up straight, you know? So it didn't come out of nowhere. That's the thing. It built step by step, quietly, not really telling you what was going on. Now, before we get into the first exercise, there's one more piece you need to see, okay? Just one more, because this is where most people go wrong. Now, Autumn had already been told what to do. Rest. Be careful. Take it slow. And listen, you know, I understand why that advice sounds right. At our age, nobody's trying to make things worse, all right? But here's the catch. When rest becomes the only strategy, everything around the joint just starts shutting down. If you're just going to rest, then everything else is just going to get weaker too. The muscles just turn off. They go quiet. The support disappears all over your body, all right? And now the joint is left handling force by itself. That's why it's important I go over this before I talk about the exercise. You have to be aware of these things. So that's how knee pain becomes hip pain becomes back pain, and simple movements start feeling like a big project. You know, that moment before you stand up, that little pause. Well, how's this gonna go? You know, I've been sitting here for 2 hours, so I'm, not sure what's gonna happen. All right, yeah, that's not in your head. That's your body adapting. So now, that's why the first exercise really matters. The muscles that protect your knees aren't even in your knees. They're your glutes. Your butt, okay? Your bottom, your bum. Yes, the seat of your pants. The same muscles most of us think we're using, but haven't really been using properly in years. It's because they've been sitting, avoiding, working around discomfort. Basically, they've been retired for maybe a decade or two before you're even thinking about your retirement. So the knees step in. And the knee was never built for that job, not for the hips job. Those are big, strong muscles. The knee's just a joint, okay? So before we even touch the exercises, this is the shift. We're not fixing the knee directly, all right? We're rebuilding the system that supports it. Okay, so now that you see what's actually going on, let's go through the 3 exercises, okay? Thank you for your patience. Now, pay attention to how each one fits into the chain because they all work together, okay? Being part of a strong chain is what helps them all work together. All right, so the first one is the glute bridge. Now, this first exercise, the glute bridge, this is where everything starts. Now, you're going to lay on your back. You make sure your heels are pressed into the surface, whether it's the floor, if it's a bed, if it's a couch, it's anything you can get on comfortably, okay? You don't have to be on the floor, okay? So just lie on your back, press your heels into whatever surface you're in. Now lift your hips. That's it, okay? Simple enough that most people underestimate it. But underneath that simple movement, everything important is happening. The glutes start firing. The deep stabilizers, they wake up finally. They've been quiet. They've been retired. Well, they're back to work again, okay? The back of your legs start remembering what they're supposed to do. For Autumn, this was huge. Her hips had been working nonstop without support. This gave them support. Now, press your heels down, lift your hips, squeeze at the top, lower slowly. Start with maybe 5 to 10 reps. Just rest when you need it. Pushing through the pain is not something I recommend here, okay? We have to make sure you're comfortable. We're just waking up the muscles right now, okay? And even with the range, if it's too painful to go all the way up for any reason, whether it could be a low back issue, sciatic issue, it could be the inflammation in your knees, limit the range of motion. Instead of this, do that. I always say comparison is a thief of joy. You're going to hear me say that a lot if you follow my videos. But you can put pillows under your hips because we're not chasing height, we're building connection. So anything that's going to help. Once that connection comes back, everything downstream starts to change, all right? So Autumn did this every morning before she stood up. That one habit started shifting the entire chain. The glutes started waking up. The thigh muscles and the knees didn't have to do as much because now you had the whole chain starting to work again. So once those glutes came back online, we moved to the moment most people with knee pain don't love. We had to do some stuff standing up. So the next one is just chair to standing up, okay? You can call it a chair squat if you want. This looks simple. You sit down, you stand up, but this is where a lot of people quietly wear their knees down because they lean forward. They drive through the knees. They use momentum. Now, we've all done that, especially when we're tired. I get this. It's like what I'm telling you right now, I do myself, all right? When I was younger, when I was in my 20s and 30s doing this type of stuff, half of this stuff I didn't know, okay? So you're going to get more detail from me than you might from somebody else because I'm living it myself. I've had knee problems, I've had hip problems, I've had low back problems, okay? I'm giving you more detail than what you might hear from a therapist or a doctor, especially ones that are younger. They're doing their best. They know their stuff. You know, they got their degrees. They've got their practice. They passed their tests. But, you know, we're all in this together, right? After 50, 55, 60, you know, and beyond, we're doing this together. There's just things that we're only going to be able to understand as far as these little subtle movements, okay? So make sure you don't use momentum. Now, again, like I said, we've all done that. No judgment. All right, I do it when I'm tired too. So here's the shift though. Just remember, even if you're a little tired, press through your heels and then drive your hips up, drive them forward. Let your glutes do the work. Now the knee isn't the engine, it stabilizes. That one change moves the load off of the knee joint and into the muscles, the butt muscles that are built to handle it. Just think, press your heels down, get your hips to push forward, okay? Now, almost every time you go to, you go to a therapist, you go to somebody else, they don't say that. That's kind of more of a bodybuilding thing. I bodybuilt competition when I was younger, and they always get maximum development, push through your heels, push your hips forward, okay? So there are things that, you know, the medical industry or therapist industry doesn't cover. All right, I'm giving you the true tips here. Okay, so that's why I told you you need to listen to everything I'm telling you, not just show you random exercises. Okay, okay. Now, like I was saying, the knee isn't the engine. It stabilizes that one chain moves the load off the joint and into the muscles that are built to handle it, the butt. Now, Autumn started with body weight. Okay, now just get the pattern right first. Then we added a light load, not to push harder, but to reinforce the movement. And once it feels right, your body starts trusting everything again because everything is turned on. Okay? So then we got to the real test. Stairs. You know the ones. Now there's little steps, there's big steps, there's wide steps, there's short steps. We got to make sure we're ready for all of them. Start with the low step, all right? Feet flat. Again, press through your heel, drive the hip forward, stay upright. Now if you need to hold on to the banister, do that, okay? Be safe. But in your mind, think about your heels, think about your hips. Don't lean into your knees. Try not to pull up with your arm. Again, none of these things I'm hearing from anybody else. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. Coach Rudy, thank you. All right? Yeah, you're welcome. Because that's the nuance, okay? That's why I need you to watch. When you watch my videos, please watch the whole thing, okay? Obviously, you know, it helps with other things, but it's because I'm giving you the gold here, all right? Okay. So just make sure you stay upright. Make sure that the hips are pushing you forward. And then you can go lower down slowly, all right? That's it, just one step. Make sure that one step done correctly, it's gonna bring that habit into your brain, into the next step, into the next step. Because most people climb stairs leaning into the knee and pulling with momentum, and that's just gonna wear your knees down quicker. We wanna stop that action, all right? This way, the way that I'm telling you to do it, teaches the hip to take over. Now, the knee isn't absorbing everything. Autumn just started one step at a time, slow, controlled. Within a few weeks, that hesitation, it started fading. And here's the part that I love, okay? Once that happens, well, people get a little excited, like, wait, I can do this again. And then they start telling friends, and people look at them like they've discovered some secret, and it's like, you're just climbing stairs. I don't understand. Like, but I'm doing it pain-free and I'm doing it properly. I love that. Because in a way they've discovered something. They're reborn, all right? That's what we want. We want that in our midlife. It's like reset, okay? Let's not figure out how to do things carefully. Let's get our strength back so we can do things properly, all right? So Autumn didn't just get stronger, all right? She stopped treating herself like she was fragile, okay? That's the big shift. That's the thing I want you to take away from anything that you're approaching physically. You are not fragile. You've just gotten weaker because of disuse, because of maybe an old injury, because of a health issue that might have taken your energy away. You've just gotten weaker because of those things. And you can get stronger. Now, sometimes there's going to be limitations because of something you might have gone through. I get that. Like I said, I worked in physical therapy for 10 years out of college. But we just try and get stronger as much as we can, just regardless of what we're managing. You know, another of my things is you don't compare yourself to other people. Comparison is a thief of joy. We want to make sure you're just doing the best you can right now, okay? If we can do just a little bit more than we did last week, that's progress, that's quality of life. So that's a big shift because, you know, like not just women, but, you know, all of us. Because like I was saying, a lot of women, a lot of men are told, when you get older, when you have injuries, be careful, slow down, don't make it worse. And it sounds responsible, but careful without at least trying to get stronger all it does is just slow a decline, because that decline is still going to be there if you're not trying to get stronger. The body doesn't stabilize from caution. It stabilizes from getting stronger. We have to make sure you are not fragile. You can get stronger, whether it's 1 pound or 20 pounds. You can lift a little more. You can lift your body weight a little better. You can get stronger. You can still get stronger. Okay? Getting a little fanatical about it. I got to throw it into your face. I need you to hear it. All right? Because what pain takes first isn't movement. It's your decisions, that hesitation, that second guessing, that quiet, maybe I shouldn't, everybody's going on a hike. I don't want to slow them down. My knees might hurt the next day. I get that. You do have to be cautious about that stuff, but then you still have to be like, well, I can't do the whole hike. Maybe I'll just walk out to the hill. And then when you guys start up with the hill, I'm just going to go back to the bench. That's all right. Comparison is a thief of joy. Remember that, okay? So that quiet, maybe I shouldn't, the strength is going to start giving you back some of that, okay? Maybe you go up, 10 yards up the hill next time, and then you come back down. And that's a true story. I had somebody who was doing that. She's like, I didn't go up with my, adult kids all the way, but I started going up halfway and then finally the whole way, okay? So it can happen because she got stronger. She didn't consider herself fragile, all right? Doesn't happen overnight, but steadily you'll be able to improve on yourself, not on anybody else. You may not be able to do everything, but your body's going to start feeling reliable again. You're going to start feeling more confidence, more independence. That's what this is about. That's what my whole program is about. I want to make sure that we don't going into our 70s and 80s, hopefully our 90s, we're still confident. We still have independence. We have strength. We're still doing everything we possibly can to enjoy our quality of life. This is where you start. Not with random exercises. This is part of a plan, okay? This is a path that I put my clients on, all right? It's not random exercise. It's not with guessing what they can do and what they can't do. It's just the right system, from laying down to standing up to climbing up. Now, there's different versions of that in my program. There's different ways to do that, but these are primary examples of where to start, all right? They're foundational. Now, that's what my Pivot to Strength program is built for. A program designed for real bodies in their midlife who aren't fitness models, just have been having a lot of issues as they're aging. There's a lot of wear on the tires, and we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to make sure we're not getting weak, we're not getting fragile, we're getting stronger. A program designed for real bodies with real injuries, living real lives, because we're doing everything we can. We're planning for retirement. We're taking care of adult kids, maybe grandkids, aging parents, all these things. We thought we were busy in our 20s and 30s. We're just as busy, if not busier now than we were back then, okay? So just take that into consideration. We're going through a lot, all of us, all right? Now, if you're feeling like this is something that's going to help you, just start there. Start with the exercises that I showed you. Give them a try. Again, very cautious, okay? If you have any health issues, you have to be cleared medically to try anything, especially strength-based exercise, okay? So again, make sure that you're careful about that. It's just one step at a time, because stronger is foundational right now. Stronger is the strategy now overall. You have to get stronger no matter what you're doing. You can play golf, play tennis, you can do Pilates, yoga, whatever you do, but you have to be strong, okay? You have to make sure you're maintaining your muscle mass. Because we're not done. We still have decades to go. That's the plan, right? All right? So Autumn's story shows you what happens when one joint compensates for another. But what if you're still waiting to even see a doctor to get cleared to do anything, or hopefully to get some help, and you just can't get an appointment? I have clients who have to wait months to see a doctor. It's just, it's just the industry. Can't blame the actual doctors or anything. The system is doing the best it can. I don't want to point fingers. Again, comparison is the thief of joy. I'm not going to compare what I do to what they do. So when people are waiting, that's when they stop moving entirely because they're resting, they're being careful, all right? But that's where the real decline starts. What I'd like you to do is watch this next video, okay? I'll show you 3 ways to keep building strength in your entire body while you wait for that doctor's appointment, if it's something you need or if you're getting over something. Again, it's another basic, simple exercise strategy, okay? So your body doesn't give up more ground before you get the help that you're hopefully going to be getting, hopefully sooner rather than later. But before you look at that one, there's a link in the description in that video. There's a link in the description in this video. Go ahead, follow the link for more information on the program if you're interested. And hopefully I'll see you in there as well, okay? Check it out. Watch this next video.